My name is Rebecca Robinson. I am the programme lead for the Lancashire Cyber Foundry, which is an ERDF funded programme which is run out of Lancaster University. A little bit about myself. I'm a really proud northerner. I have lived in the northwest all of my life. I've moved between rural settings and urban locations, and then eventually I've settled down with my family and husband, and I now live in a small village near Kirkby Lonsdale. I love walking my dog, Maggie, and I really enjoy taking my children to many different activities that they do across the week and at the weekend. Pretty sure that's called a mum's taxi service. So that's kind of me in a nutshell. I studied a BEng at Liverpool University. This was an engineering degree. Before moving on to Manchester University to do my PhD, which was a PhD in instrumentation. And I built a new brain imaging device, got that into a clinical trial and tested that for people's auditory and visual processing. Following my PhD, I worked with Alder Children's Hospital and the Royal Liverpool Hospital. I've always been really interested in helping others, and I was really passionate about trying to help these children and adults with their visual and auditory diagnosis so that we could understand exactly what was going on in the brain and at the back of the eye, so that we could help to inform their treatment plans or just give them more of an understanding of their diagnosis. Following on from that, I was a postdoc at Manchester University, and I worked in the audiology department there. And then I went to work in clinical trials at the Christie. I really enjoyed working at the Christie, and I helped to secure approximately £30 million for a new biomedical research centre. And that was just before I moved to Lancaster. I wanted to come here for a different challenge, a better work-life balance, being more in a rural environment and an environment that I was brought up in. I wanted to bring my family up in a similar way. I really enjoy the challenges of supporting businesses within Cyber Foundry and helping them to understand some of the risks and also opportunities that are within this field of cybersecurity and digital innovation. I started my BEng at Liverpool University, and I was a significant minority within that field. My very first day, there was approximately 400 students having a bit of an orientation session about where the library is and where the services we can get support from, etc. And I was one of very few women in that room. I perhaps initially thought that that was going to be play to my advantage, maybe red carpet treatment, chairs pulled out for me, that kind of thing. That wasn't the case at all. I felt very isolated and alone, and I really struggled to make friendships. Although I did make some really good friends, I did face sexism in the workplace quite a lot, particularly from the older lecturers that were in the university. And that continued even when I was in doing my PhD, and I never felt like I could really address it in a kind of disciplinary way, but I decided that I wanted to do something more proactive. So I overcame it by trying to encourage others to go into STEM. Science, technology, engineering, mathematics subjects. And I did this by helping to support the women that were already in the community, so those people who were doing undergraduate and postgraduate degrees, and also the academics that were within our engineering department. I put on events and tried to get everybody to be engaged and feel part of the community. In addition to that, I also supported schools and colleges and did lots of different events from primary school right the way through up to kind of A-levels and college. And so I really enjoyed trying to support their journey and their knowledge within STEM. Another obstacle I would say that I've faced, which is not unusual, but that's becoming a parent, and being a working parent is challenging. In addition to just being a working parent, we actually adopted our children. This means that the children have faced challenges in their lives and their background, which requires additional support, and it can result in some different behavioural issues that we need to support and work through. And being an adoptive parent, has got these additional levels of complexity that does need time to support. And therefore, it was really important for me to find not only just a role, but an organisation that would actually support flexible working and enable me to be able to support my children. After all, that is critical for me. And the university, Lancaster University, is great at being able to help me to support that. That means that I can pop into school if I need to have those extra 10-minute chats at the end of a school just to make sure that everything went okay that day, right the way through to having dedicated time out to be able to actually attend some courses and things like that to be able to help my parenting journey. One of the things that I'm most proud of is the work that I've done with schools and colleges to help to support young people to understand the value of working and studying STEM subjects. I've always tried to make these subjects the most relatable I can to them and the most enjoyable. I've done all sorts of stuff from building hovercrafts with girls right the way through to making ice cream out of liquid nitrogen. I've always just tried to make it fun, but also bring in that academic side of things so they understand the science, the maths, the engineering behind it. The biggest achievement for me, or a big key moment, has been seeing some of those children go on to have careers in STEM. It makes me really proud to be a little bit of a part of that. In any career that you want, you should always be yourself. You're tempted to try to mold yourself into what you believe is the preferred or typical version of yourself in these environments. But actually, there's a huge value of us all being individuals and coming from a different perspective. And I know that working within STEM, and women are a minority within these fields, and particularly within cyber, I do look at the world differently, and that's fine. And I think bringing my own perspective can actually help to bring about the most innovative or creative solutions to the challenges that we face. So always be you.